go live with the CEO and founder of Running Nerds herself. I want to like time it perfect so it's like right when you're coming in. The Tes Marshall. Boom.
Hey! I still don't have my horn ready.
We invite guests across the spectrum of society, including elite athletes, entrepreneurs, local legends, and beyond. You are many of those things, by the way. We utilize the sport of running to learn more about these individuals, their local community, and what they're doing to change the world. Tes, we believe in the power of movement and doing the doable at a local level. We have all types of hosts that kind of come on with me. Sometimes it's Josh Muxon, the voice of Run Local. Sometimes it's Jimmy Coleman, who does a side hustle podcast for us. But today, it's just me, my friend, just me and my friend Tes. We have a special guest. She is the founder of Running Nerds. She is the founder of Run Social Atlanta, co-founder of The Race. You know, you've heard about that half marathon from Greater Atlanta, Georgia, the Greater Metro area. I actually don't know your hometown.
Actually, yeah, Atlanta, ATL. Just give it ATL for today.
ATL. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on. I know we just did a race director battle like a month ago, maybe.
An epic race director battle, yes.
Yeah, and you hosted it. That was your amazing idea. We'll get into more of your amazing ideas. But just in case the Run Local audience doesn't know who you are, a lot of them do from the battle. Can you tell them about yourself, how you see yourself, etc.?
Yeah, so thank you. I'm gonna talk to Instagram this time. So
I like that.
Hey, Instagram. So yeah, thank you so much, JT, for inviting me to talk with you. It's always a pleasure getting together with you. I think our relationship has been strengthened by the battle. I'd like to think that Babyface and Teddy Riley are much closer now.
Storch, Scott Storch,
and all the battlers. At the end of the day, they become like besties afterwards. So we've created quite the relationship. I mean, to the fact that we're wearing the same hat at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
But yes,
you I'd wear a Run Social Atlanta hat if I had one, or even a dinosaur tee. I'm just gonna put that out there.
We might have to make that happen. So I'm Tes, and I am a race director and runner here in Atlanta. I do live in Atlanta. I put on running events in the Atlanta metro area. We have our own series of events called Run Social, and then we also have a half marathon and 5K that we put on called The Race. And then we also put on events for amazing partners, corporate and charity partners. And then we have the ability to help local races out with anything from timing all the way to volunteers to just coming up with a plan. We do consulting, so all things running basically. And it basically started with my personal love for running and developing myself as a runner. I used to be a basketball athlete, and if you know anything about basketball athletes, we don't like to run. So this whole thing of, I'm going to start running for distance for multiple miles was like crazy to me. But when I started doing it, I got really nerdy about it. So that became Running Nerds. So we got nerdy about running. We called ourselves Running Nerds. That developed into a Facebook group, which developed into a race, which developed into multiple races, which developed into, I got to start taking this seriously because, this is a business. It's not just a hobby anymore. It's still a passion. It always will be a passion, but it's not just. You got to, make sure you're doing things at a level of excellence so that people will continue in the journey. So, yep, that's us.
Oh, that's it. That's all you do.
I mean, that's a nutshell. I mean, I can go on and on, but we got topics.
I love it. We do have topics. And it was fun catching up this morning just to start setting the stage a little bit. And I don't know for me, I just love to see you smile right now because we have had some tumultuous weeks in the past few months. Even when we started the battle, part of the reason we started the battle was because we were in the middle of COVID-19 and we were looking for fun things to do and ways to shake it up. And then it was okay, things can't get weirder, and they've since gotten worse. And I don't want this to feel like, oh, I wanted Tess on the show because she's a Black race director. I wanted Tess on the show because she's a race director and my friend. And then I was
Yeah.
like, oh, now it looks like we're hosting like a race relations podcast or something like that. When really I just want it to be me and you talking like it always
Yeah.
has been. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, JT, I absolutely don't mind. I'm a Black woman, I'm a Black runner, I'm a Black American, and so I have no problems. I've never had problems representing that and speaking to that. But like you said, at the end of the day, you know, we know each other because of our common passion for running and our common passion for putting on running events for people.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's definitely timely, you know, for us to, you know, talk. And, you know, we're both trying to come up with creative, innovative things to keep people going, keep people active, keep people motivated. So, you know, I couldn't think of a better time for us to connect, to be honest with
Oh,
you.
I like that. And I think that is the funny part. That's probably the thing I feel like you and I have most in common that I've always enjoyed watching from you is the creativity side of it.
Yeah.
It's like a very locally generated, I don't know, it's almost art, you
Yeah.
know, in a way of coming up with design and or theme and or ways to get people moving so that they forget that they're moving almost, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and and I would say like it goes beyond for me in the way why we connected was because there were so many like little things that we had in common of like,
Yeah.
oh, the goofiness or having fun or making the run about something more than just running and
Yeah. Well,
everything.
I mean, I told you this and I said this at the end of the race director battle is like when I first had the idea, the first person I thought of to do this was you. And we haven't talked since I think we might have seen each other. Were you at
Yeah,
Running
at some
USA this
event.
year? I don't think I've seen
I
you
couldn't make it.
physically.
I
Yeah,
have a
I haven't
problem with
seen you
Las Vegas.
physically.
Vegas doesn't let me in anymore.
That sounds like another topic.
It does.
But no, so like it was literally just because, you know, like you said, I follow you, you know, I see what you're doing on literally the other side of the country. And I've always been super impressed. So it was like a natural, like, who would be down for JT? I literally was like, JT, I got this idea. Can you talk to me? You know, we're dealing with our 3 hour time difference. So, you know, I had to figure out, you know, a good time. And boom, boom. What was it? A week turnaround for
It
the
was
event.
quick.
So, yeah.
It was quick. And a lot of that's what I also like about owning a small business
Mhm.
sometimes and not working for like a rock and roll marathons or Ironman or Google or something like that. Like I don't
Yeah.
have a boss. I'm
Yeah.
throwing shit together in a
You,
day's
you
time.
you didn't have to
I
talk
call
to
it boss.
your PR guy to make sure you got approved to do it
Yeah,
and, you know, give you a
yeah,
scripted
get
thing.
signed off. I'll
Yeah.
send that over to legal. I got to make sure see what the liability is over here. Um,
Yeah.
I am legal, so that's nice. Send it.
Yes.
Um, but that's one thing I love about the small business, the hustle of it, is that you can just go. You can just
Yeah.
bing, bing, bam, bam. And
Absolutely.
that's something we talked about this morning and we were going to talk about today is like, you know, what is the future of what we do? We are a small business. We are not Ironman. We are not rock and roll. We're not major league sports that have these huge budgets and maybe some cushions in between it. We
Yeah.
depend on getting these races like running again. We
Right.
depend on getting people out there. And I don't know, we got, you know, 10 people on the live stream right now. Maybe that gets up higher, but we're curious. Send it out to the crowd right now about like, are you guys ready for live events to come back? Are you
Yeah.
ready to be doing virtual events a year from now? Um, we'll just keep an eye on see if there's any
Yeah.
comments from your team or our
Yeah.
team.
And there's no bad idea right now. Like I love hearing sometimes you get great events from crazy ideas.
Hmm.
Like someone will throw out a crazy idea, like let's put a freaking giant dinosaur head on a shirt, and you're like, oh, that's crazy, and then you do it. Or, you know, let's, you know, make the Golden Gate Bridge 3 prongs instead of 2, and you're like, wait, you know,
So
so.
you heard that from the race director battle.
But no, seriously, like think of the things that you've done that you're most proud of, and it probably stemmed from something maybe that was a little wilder, and then you had to like kind of make it kind of realistic, or maybe it started off small and it just grew into something that the people want. So like, all right, someone has commented they are ready for live events.
Jane
Absolutely.
is
But
ready. Jane
so
runs 26.2. She ready to go.
my next level question on next, I think we're all ready, right? We're all ready. But my next level question is, you are ready, but at what point are you comfortable to come out and participate? Because our challenge is being able to put on an event that will be perceived and is, I mean, we've always put on safe events. Like, this isn't like a new thing, being sanitized and safety and all that. It's not new, but the perception of how your events are put on and what you're doing to make people comfortable, that's where we need to understand what the runners want and what our jurisdictions are going to demand from us. And I think that's going to be the big challenge.
Massive question mark there. And I was
Yeah.
telling you this morning that we're leaving a big budget line item for like health and safety because we don't even know what the requirements are going to be. It could be
Yeah.
something from the CDC, then the state, and then our local county of Santa Clara County, which does a lot of our events, is going to have like a whole new another level. And how many people can be there? And how many dinosaurs shirts are we allowed to produce a year? I don't know.
Right. It's I don't know is the most common answer. I literally today got on the phone with my medical director, who is she works for the fire department here in Atlanta, and I said, okay, what's the word on the street? What do you think is going to happen? And her first response was, I don't know.
IDK, as the kids say.
I don't know, Tess. And I didn't expect her to have an answer. If she would have had an answer, I probably would have been shocked. But I talked to my police captain who manages most of my larger events. No idea. He's sitting at home. He's retired, so he sits at home every day. He's like, I'm ready to get out there just like you are. That was his livelihood. Every single weekend he was directing a race. Coordinating our security for races. And so that question mark is there. But I think a lot of it will come from the people. I don't think we need to go out and protest to bring runs back, guys. So please, no, don't do that. But you guys can give us your input as to what would make you feel safe and comfortable, and that will help us to formulate our plans for forward movement. So
yeah, and there's been some small ones. I think Run Sign Up sent out an email or something. They're not our registration company, but they sent something about an Indiana run that spread people out. They have bigger corrals. They, are we going to have temperature checks or at least something they're signing a checkbox and a waiver saying, I'm not experiencing any symptomatic elements of this thing. And I don't want to be a naysayer. I just think it's going to be a bit. And I'm wondering, those that are creative, such as ourselves, are sometimes in a better position because we haven't always done things the exact same way that other people did them in the past. So I sometimes look forward to that process of creation and production and building. I don't love it. I wish we could have it more traditional and I could be using my creativity to make, the past events better. But yeah, you got a good question in there. Let's go right to a question. Because he's had some good ones. Matthew Masucci, did y'all have a plan B in case something like this happened, or is it just out of the range of possibility? That's a good question.
Nobody was planning for anything like this. Nobody, no entity, even our government was not planning for this. So that's an easy answer. No, we did not have a plan. Our plans being formulated now, absolutely, but there was definitely no plan in place for a global pandemic.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why, because even the insurance companies and the different people weren't, there was no pandemic insurance. There was no, I think one team had, who was it? I think Wimbledon had pandemic insurance.
Really?
And cashed in and they canceled their event and they cashed in at like $150 million. They made money.
Kudos to Wimbledon.
Very golf clap.
Wow.
So this brings me to another point, and when the answer is I don't know over and over and over, and I think this isn't just our industry. I think it has a lot to do with society in general right now. There's economic I don't knows, there's sporting event I don't knows, general event I don't knows, like peace and safety, health and safety I don't knows right now. Like, what do you think it does to just the general anxiety of the people? And it's a multi-part question because I want to know what you're doing for mental health as well.
Well, I think it definitely makes some runners anxious, and I will preface what I'm going to say with my community has been amazing. We have about 500 people over that had signed up pre-registered for our 6 events over the course of the year, and we have over 1,300 that are registered for the race, which is scheduled for October. And I can still count, I think I'm on 2 hands now, how many people have emailed me with questions about, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Or demanding refund. I've gotten very, very few demanding refund emails. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we have done a good job of communicating where we are along the way. And I think you have to do that. If you're a race director out there and you have not been communicating before the questions start, like I try to quell questions as much as possible, because like even when I send out an email, I try my best to answer every question that I think someone could possibly
You put yourself
ask.
in their shoes, and you're like,
Exactly.
and if you're gonna have a baby, name it Tess. And
Look, and then
having any questions,
if you have any additional questions, you go to our website, and I've answered more questions that you could
ask
possibly
Coco.
have. And if I have and if I have more if I get a question multiple times, then I add it to my frequently asked questions. And I mean, these are things that we do. But so I think that people are definitely anxious, but you can quell some of that anxiety by letting people know, hey, we don't know either. So, I try to answer that question as often as possible, particularly people who have invested their money with you, because we did a big, huge, talk about creativity. We did a race signing day on January 5th. So you know how you can do National Signing Day?
Oh, that's cool.
So we did a national race signing day and opened up all of our races for registration for one day. Invited a whole bunch of our partners.
Like in person?
Yeah, you came to in person and you signed up. It was really, really cool.
You take pictures behind them. Do they have a little backdrop behind them too?
I'll send you some pictures after this. Yes, we had the backdrop. We had a giant pen. We had a giant pen, and they signed up. So, and that was another event. I pulled it together in like 2 weeks, and we did it. But like I said, we had a couple hundred people sign up for events all year. So those are the people, like I said, they've committed their time and their money to us, and they're trusting us with with their registration fees. And so it's important to make sure that we talk to people. And then as far as I am concerned, personally, it's I don't like to claim stress, but
stressful.
It is stressful, and it's not pleasant not knowing what your next month is going to look like. So I try to take everything in chunks.
Totally.
You wake up every day and you're like, okay, is what I'm doing even useful? Like, do people even care about a race right now? Like, what am I doing? I have those moments. Do you have those moments?
Dude, I'm having, the reason I ask is because that's probably my area for most potential growth. is that it's a nice soft way of putting it, is that I live in it and I kind of stew in it, and I'll get to a place where I'm like, I'm okay with this, and then I'm like, it just comes, it's like a wave of anxiety of, well, if this race doesn't come back on, and then this one, and then it feels a little snowbally a little bit. And then it didn't help to have, we're just normal people that, everything feels a little bit more hectic and a little bit more anxiety just going to a grocery store these days, or going, like adding, we're working from home. And so we've got some dynamic relationships. I'm living with a girlfriend for the first time, and and we're both working from home, and it's really fun.
How's that working out? Y'all like each other?
Yeah, we love each other.
That's
Sometimes.
good. This is relationship testing 101.
This is a test. Test.
I'm proud to announce I am happily, my marriage is solid, so we're good.
That's great.
It's because we have 2 floors. That's why.
It helps. And you've got Peyton, the French ton.
Peyton the Frenchton.
Frenchton.
Yes.
I followed him on Instagram today. It's a great follow.
Thank you.
And so yes, but it's funny. It's the things I know that help me are always the things that I'm having trouble doing, right? So like, I know yoga is a huge help to me, because maybe it just brings me back down. And if it adds a breathing thing, I know meditation helps me. I feel way better on those days. Like, what is it that's stopping me from like doing that? I don't know every day, but adding that to
Yeah.
it. So, sometimes I just get wrapped up into the work of what we're doing, and I'm like, oh, well, I can't do that for an hour. That's going to pull me away from doing stupid emails or something. We talk about
Yeah.
emails more than anything, or
Emails,
some
yeah.
just answering people. And so, yeah, I think I'm using you as a sounding board and just wanting to hear myself say, I need to
Use
do
me.
more of those things.
Use
A little
me.
more self-care. Yeah.
What about running? How is running fitting into your life? How does it feel different now?
Oh my gosh, so much, well, necessary.
Yeah.
Um, so I do two sports. You can probably see that, what's going on behind me here. These surfboards are actually being used as light blocks because there's sun just pounding down the back side of my windows here. But
Beautiful.
surf and run are two things. I feel so fortunate that both were available throughout almost the entire pandemic.
Mm.
So they only closed the beaches momentarily in Santa Cruz, California. So I think we had 5 or 6 days where we couldn't go surf, but I could go
Mm.
run. Just think about the people who are like so into weights and
Yeah.
studio yoga and Orange Theory and like all of those pieces. Like that's a real loss, I think, for a
Yeah.
lot of people to have to pick up something new. I mean, it's good for us because they came to running, a lot of them,
Yeah.
and cycling, and have an opportunity. But for me, running has always been a bit of a stress reliever, and I found myself doing more of it. I found
Yeah.
some 10-mile runs and then 11, and then I was like, I'm going to go out there for 13 and doing some things. And I told you this morning, my calf was talking back to me for all that running, but it's been I feel so grateful for it.
Yeah.
I have that,
Absolutely.
in my life. And I don't know, are you running more or less? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm running more consistently. So for the month of April, and it kind of dipped into May, I made a goal to run 26.2 miles every week, and I was gonna
Hmm.
like reflect on all my marathons. I've done 9
Wow.
marathons, so I picked 5 of them. So that was cool. I did that 5 weeks in a row. And it was crazy because the first couple weeks I messed up and I like let all the miles pile up towards the end. So like one weekend I did like 8 miles, 7 miles, and then whatever adds up to
You had to fit it in.
26.2. Yeah. So I think I had 2 good weeks where I spread it out. So it was like a couple of threes, 2 fours, a six, because I like to do the long run.
Yeah.
And then I did a half marathon on one of the days. So that was nice. And then after I finished that, I did a couple of weeks with no goals, just go run when I feel like running. And one of those weeks I ran once, so I was like, no, I got to have a goal. So even though there's more time, it's easy to let the whole day go by and you not get it in.
Yeah.
So I've relearned about myself. I learned this lesson like all the time that I have to have some kind of goal. So
Yep.
now I'm gonna kind of do another. I did a half marathon this weekend, just because I could.
Yep.
And so now I want to build
Did you
up
go
to.
fast? Did you like go for
No,
it, or you just went through, try to finish it?
there's no fast running going
Okay.
on right now.
It's kind
It's
of
just
like
get it
me.
done. Yeah,
If
it's
I
get
go
it.
fast, I get hurt, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Wow.
just like I said, I don't have any. I was supposed to be doing the Ogden Marathon
Oh yeah.
in May, so that was going to
Is
be.
Utah?
Yeah, we had a girls trip planned, and some of my really good running buddies. So that was the only race on my calendar where I was like, okay, I'm going to try to do something at that race. But now, I mean, I don't really have any races. I'm signed up for the Detroit Marathon, which is in October. So we'll see.
I'm going to send you an entry to our California Coast 500. Have you heard
All
about
right.
that?
Yes, I
That
have.
thing that we're doing?
Very
You have
excited
heard?
about that.
I think we talked
Yes.
about it. I can't remember. Anyway, so Monday we're launching it
I
on
told you I
June
follow
8th.
you, JT. I'm a fan. I'm a Run
I
Local
know, I
fan.
forget. There's a lot of people to follow. But this is also my way of being able to put it out there again. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, have you heard about this thing?
Yeah.
Even though I know you know
Oh,
about it.
pray tell. Pray tell.
You're the best. Oh man, the California coast. Okay, fine. The California coast 500. 500 miles from Santa Monica Pier to the Golden Gate Bridge. And it's called Run the One, one being Highway 1, which is all along our California coast. It's a beautiful stretch of highway through LA to Santa Barbara, Big Sur, Santa Cruz, where I live, and then to San Francisco. It keeps going north from there, but we didn't want to make it harder than 500 miles a minute.
Right.
So anybody can run 100, 200, 300, 400. You get different medals depending on how far you go. So I want to, maybe you can join our team, our sole focus Silverback team, so I can keep an eye on how far you're going on that thing.
Well, here's my request. my girls that I was gonna go to Ogden with were all runners.
Mm-hmm.
Two of them were gonna do the marathon, and three of us were gonna do the half. Could I have a team for them?
Absolutely. Yeah, start
There's
your own
five.
team. Yeah.
Is there five of us? There's five of us, and one of my friends in that group was supposed to be doing Big Sur, so I know she'll be down
Oh, that'd be
to do
cool.
this.
Yeah, we're gonna do a
Yeah.
big star segment on there.
So
Yes, I think you
I
should call it
doubt
Run
any of
Social
them are
Atlanta
on
or whatever
here.
your girls group is. You set up your own team, even
Yeah, I would
better.
love to participate, and you don't have to
That's
give
cool.
us a registration. We'll register. Don't worry about that. You don't have to
Well,
give us any.
we'll get you one. We'll
Oh,
get
thank
you
you. You're so sweet. And
one
I'll
of
get you a
your.
dinosaur shirt to even trade.
That's all. I was working for the dinosaur shirt. Oh man. Okay. I know there's something else I want to talk about. What do you want to talk about? And then I'll come back to it.
Well, no, I love this whole just dialogue between race directors. Like, I think it's cool for people to understand that we are race directors. We're not just like people who run that decided to put on a 5K. Like, do you get approached a lot from people about like, oh, I want to put on a 5K. Can you tell me what you do? And they
Every
think
freaking week.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be it's gonna be a 20-minute conversation. I think they really think it's gonna be no offense. I love when people ask me, but after I'm done talking to them,
I love it.
they either say, "Oh, well, that sounds like a good idea, but no, thank you," or they say, "Well, that sounds great. Can we hire you to do all that?" But
Yes.
like, do you feel like you educate your community about like just the whole gamut of what it means to put on? Because you guys do a lot.
Yeah,
You're
we do
not
do a lot.
just yeah
I don't think we do it. I don't think we do it enough. I would really love them to know how much goes into it. Like how
hmm
many people are working so many tiny, little hours on an aid station truck and all these
yeah
packing things and all these little details where they're like, oh, there's a cup of water. Thanks, guys. And it's
yeah
like, you don't know what it took to get
yeah
that cup of water it's like supply chain kind of like
yeah.
it took
Oh my
this thing
God.
to this thing to this thing and to this volunteer and teaching them to wear the right gloves and they're going to have to be very very clean and all types of masks and all types. It's going to even get even tougher. So
Yeah.
one thing we're doing with one of our virtual events that's coming up is we're actually highlighting some of our vendors that have been
Mhm.
in there a long time. So almost like
Yeah.
every day that week, we're talking to Green Mary. Green Mary is amazing. She like recycles everything from our events, like finds a way to go compost, recycle, and very little trash from it. But it's her
Oh, I
crew like
love that.
doing all that thing, and you pay her, and you're not only getting a great service of keeping the area clean, but she's doing the most with it, and she's a great
Yeah.
story. And then it's like this woman, Lisa from Big Four Rentals. I think it is. And she's been in the game so long, and I bet she has a million stories. So I think we really want to dig in on like just these little vendor parts of it to show
No,
the
absolutely.
village that it takes to put on even a 5K.
Yeah.
That thing.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And, I feel like I really wanted to like reach out to a lot of our partners. We have a similar like relationship with my porta potty guy, which, I
Yeah.
call him porta potty guy, but his name's Omari Neal. And he's the guy that no matter what you throw at him, oh, that's cool. I got you, Tess. Like I could call him like,
I
hey, I
love
need
that.
to I need to reduce the porta potty order by 6, and you need to move them to this side of the street and to that side of the street the day before. Okay, cool. I'm thinking he's gonna like freak out and he keeps me calm because he's calm. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's great.
So
And
yeah, I
those are your
think that's
favorite
great.
vendors.
You
Yeah.
gotta love it. And speaking of vendors, I really want to say this publicly, and I'm probably gonna post this on one of our
Good.
race director groups. But I've been really happy or proud of some of the relationships that I have. So I don't know who you work with for t-shirts, but we do a lot of work with Leslie Jordan, who's
Oh yeah.
also running. And I just wanted to shout them out because they have been so awesome to work with during this time. Like, first of all,
That's
I
cool.
came to them literally, I needed to make an order for a race that we converted to virtual, and we usually have to do a minimum of 1,000. I was like, listen, can we reduce the minimum? Because I don't think I'm gonna get 1,000. Da, da, da. Still want to get this because they do these custom, they do the dinosaur shirts for us.
Right.
So first, yep, whatever your minimum you need.
Leslie.
Yep, Leslie, yeah. And then I was going back and forth on artwork with them. I had this deadline I needed to make because we needed to get the shirts. All that's great. And then today I called or emailed and I said, hey, is it possible I could reduce my order because I didn't get the registrations I thought, and I don't want to end up with 200
Right.
extra shirts. And I was completely prepared for them to say,
Just be like,
yeah, it's too
wait a
late,
second.
Tess. It's
Yeah.
too late, but Tess, what do you need? How can we meet you? Da, 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 da. I mean, I was just like, thank you guys so much for being
That's
flexible,
cool.
because they would have every right to say, this is what you said you were going to do. This is what, your
Yeah,
deposit.
this
Da,
is what
da,
we
da.
prepared for. This is what we bought for to an extent.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that they're dealing with things on their back, and I know that their business has decreased significantly because people aren't
Mm-hmm.
ordering shirts, they're not ordering medals, they're not
Yeah.
ordering, So I just wanted to shout out, like, that's just one vendor. I also, I work with Hasty Awards for my medals, and they've been
Oh yeah.
great. So just, I think we're all in this together in terms of,
Mm-hmm.
like, you talked about supply chain. There is a supply chain that goes
No
into
kidding.
putting on races, and we're all gonna have to kind of get through the struggle
Right.
together. And I use the quote fingers when I say struggle, because I mean, it's running at the end of the day. We understand, but and I told her, we will remember this customer service when we get on the other side of these things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And I think that's what they're hoping,
Yeah,
and we can't forget them,
yeah,
at this time.
yeah.
Some of them have been
So,
so creative too. I don't know. Yeah, I've seen teams like Boko
mhm.
Gear,
Yeah, I work with
Green
them too.
Layer. They've turned themselves into masks and like neck gaiter factories. They are
Yeah.
just pumping them out and
There
giving
was that
all types of
one
things like that.
week. Remember that one week where we got like an email from every supplier? We're making masks now. Like, everybody was making masks. It was like crazy.
We have some real local ones coming. I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
I figure we could
Yeah.
use them for volunteers at some point, if they should be.
I haven't taken the dive on branded mask. I don't know. I still
Yeah,
feel some kind of way about this disease just rocking our worlds. And I
I
feel like,
know.
I don't know.
That's all right. Neither
People
is our
keep asking.
president. So
Yeah.
neither is our
No,
president.
I'm not
So
talking about the act of wearing a
just
mask.
kidding.
No, no, no. I want to be clear. I don't have any issues with wearing a mask. I'm talking about getting branded masks. Like, it's just not something I'm quite ready and
I did
to
not mean to
jump
put you
into.
in that. In it. Hey,
I wear my
wait.
mask.
You don't have to wear it at home on podcasts,
No,
on video.
I don't wear it when I'm running, and I don't wear it when I'm in the
Me neither.
car by myself, which is kind of funny when I see
We're
people.
probably gonna get some hate mail for that because
Yeah,
I don't either, to be honest.
yeah.
But I just can't run with it. I can't
No,
breathe.
I physically can't. I mean, it's 100 degrees in Atlanta when you're running.
Mm.
Like, that's just not safe. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's a bigger problem than COVID. Yeah, you're gonna go down.
yeah.
Oh man. What are you reading right now? This is one question I like to ask everybody that comes on here.
Well, aside from my Facebook feed,
Yeah, right. So
um,
Twitter for me. I'm just like
no, I'll be honest.
going down rabbit holes.
I'm more of a listener. I'm a podcast junkie. I listen to
Mm. Then go
all
there.
so
Go
many
there.
podcasts.
What are your favorites?
So I do love listening to Sanjay Gupta's coronavirus fact versus fiction, because he covers really good topics. It's not just like
Yeah,
a report of like how many deaths and all that. He goes into detail. So I've really gotten into that. But aside from that, How I Built This, I love
I
Guy
love
Raz.
that
Oh
too.
my God.
I think that's right up our alley
Yeah.
as entrepreneurs and small
Yeah.
business owners. It's
He's
like,
great.
oh, it's just all hustle.
And have you been listening to his series that he's created
Yeah.
since? Yeah, it's been great. We
It's
have a local.
resilience. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah. Yep.
Resilience. Yeah. I would
Um,
recommend that to anybody out there. Check
yeah,
out
so I have a lot of like
Guidance.
business ones that I listen to. That's probably the top one. As far as running podcasts, the Run Local podcast, of course. And
Of
then
course.
then we have
Don't
a
blow
local
smoke.
podcast called The Run Duo. Tommy and India, they're here out of Atlanta. So they cover kind of the global running scene, but they're two African American runners, so they dabble a lot in the Black running community as well. So
The
they're
Run
awesome.
Duo.
The
The
Run
Run Duo.
Duo, they are awesome. They do such great topics, and they got great energy and chemistry. And then as far as just like kind of fun, there's this podcast called Yes Girl by Essence. I love them. They interview Black women, celebrities all the time,
Yes.
and they're just the most positive, like uplifting women. They're so awesome. I love listening to them. I'm trying to think what I actually have subscribed. And then I was into all the crime, the
Like
crime
My
and
Favorite Murder.
all of those. But ever since COVID hit, it's like nothing really can top listening to.
Reality. Nothing can top reality.
Right. Like, I have literally not really been into my crime podcast like I used to.
Oh, that's so good and
But
so true.
It's crazy though, right? Um, so yeah,
Wait, can we take a left turn real quick? Did you
sure.
watch Insecure last night?
Oh my gosh. I like that episode.
I loved it. I've been waiting
So
for it for like 2 years
if you
for this
would have
comeback.
asked me a month ago, no, sorry,
Low-key Happy,
last year,
right?
last
Low-key
year.
Happy was the name of that one.
Yes,
That's it.
the one with Lawrence and Eason. We're gonna do
Yeah,
spoilers, so if you haven't watched it, just
yeah, it's
log
good.
off real
Fine.
quick. Um, but
Earmuffs.
I would not have wanted them to get back together last season. I would have been like,
Yeah.
nah, but I love this
There's been a lot
direction.
of growth, I think. A lot of
Yes,
growth on both sides.
yes, that episode was everything. I loved it.
Me too. What if I don't
Little,
want to go home? That's what I was like.
oh yes, Issa, yes, it was. And I love Condola because I kind of like Condola, but that's what happens when you mess with a dude who's fresh off a relationship. So,
Sorry.
although it isn't really fresh, they've been apart for like a year or two now.
Yeah, yeah. He made
So,
his decision. He knew what he
yeah,
was. Feel like he kind of knew.
yeah.
Anyway.
But no, it was great. What do you think about Molly's situation though?
Mm, I think, I mean, it seems like Molly sometimes needs to work on herself half the time. Like she's always like checking right back in with that therapist, or
Yeah,
like, do you know
she
what I
needs
mean?
to.
Like
Yeah,
something small goes wrong and she loses her mind, and she's like calling, like, can I get in there? And
yeah, yeah. But no, I love
her
Insecure. That's the
man
best.
is the most patient person in the
Dude,
world, it feels like.
right? Like I hope she realizes that he's a keeper. Seriously, but.
I love this. We should have an insecure podcast.
So my friend who is also my sponsorship coordinator for all things running
Yeah.
nerds, she and her friend do a recap on IG Live every Friday. So I'll send you the her IG. You can tune in.
Okay.
They they actually do an awesome job. Like they
Okay.
deep dive into the whole episode, but they do it on Friday, so it's like you have a whole week to process it.
Okay. So just in case you didn't have a chance to watch it like right away,
Yeah,
on Sunday, they give you like 5 days
yes, it's good
to
stuff.
catch up.
Yes,
Ah,
shout out to E
what a-
Most.
well, do you think? I mean, is Issa Rae is an amazing artist, first of all, like as an actress, but she's producing these things. She's doing crazy things. Are you seeing a more open channel for Black creators in like movies? I'm thinking Black Panther and the
Yeah,
director there, who's like created that entire thing. Like,
yeah.
does it feel like a little bit better? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being
Yeah,
positive.
no, I think
Maybe I'm just being ACP.
no, I think we're, however you want to look at it, primed for like this awesome uprising in 2020. Like 2020 was about to be amazing. Like
Yes.
everything was clicking on all cylinders. Insecure was coming back in April. I mean, I'm a big Issa Rae fan. I love her
Yeah.
growth. I mean, I've been her fan ever since she was doing her YouTube series. So, but I mean, on all levels, music, movies, running. I mean, Aliphine,
Oh, a U.S.
like
champion. Yeah,
everything,
our
every
Olympic trials champion.
aspect. There was just so much
That's a good point.
um, beauty and uprising in the African American and Black community, and it was great. It is great. I want to say
Yeah, it
was,
is.
but I mean, we're kind of on this like pause right now.
Hmm.
So I mean, this is a good transition into kind of talking about current events.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of there's so many ways I could go with this, but there's so many feelings that you can have because there has been so much progress on one hand, but then there's always these little like setbacks that makes you remember, oh wait, are we
Mm,
really progressing the way that
right.
we think we are, or
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it can leave people, and it can leave Black people really wondering like what, like I don't even know how to going back to I don't know, I don't even know how to
Wow.
respond right now,
Yeah.
because there's so many positive things going on, but at the same time there's these constant
Yeah.
reminders,
Does it feel like a weight, like just being? It feels like slowed down, or like almost like do you know those board games where you like go back? Sorry, you remember
Yeah,
Sorry? You're like,
yes.
sorry.
Oh my gosh, sorry is a great analogy. Yeah,
Yeah, like go ahead. Oh yeah, go around
yeah,
the board. Go ahead. Sorry.
yep, sorry, don't
Over and over.
forget, don't forget
Don't
you're Black
forget.
in America. And I mean, and I can't personally point to an instance where I feel like I mean, I haven't experienced police brutality. I've not experienced to my face blatant racism. I feel like I've, for the most part, been welcomed. But I have a brother who is 6'5"
Mm, mm,
that wears a scruffy beard that lives in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
mm.
And so when I see something that like what happened, like I can instantly say that could have been
Could have been
my
him.
brother. Right. I have several brothers, I have cousins, I have, families that live in these cities. My mom lives right in downtown Atlanta. I'm checking on her. Hey, Ma, you're not out there trying to, see what's going on, right? Stay in the house. So like these are things that they weigh on you because you never know when it feels like it gets closer and closer. I'll say it that
Hmm.
way. Like the whole Ahmaud Arbery thing, the fact
Yeah.
that he was out running. That's something that I do, running in a
Right.
suburban neighborhood.
While black.
I run in some suburban neighborhoods all the time.
Right.
I love dipping off into subdivisions and looking at houses and seeing what,
Yeah.
I run like this when I'm running.
Yes. Cool. Yeah,
And
just
if I
checking
see
them
it,
out.
and I have been known, if I see a house that I thought was, not, I mean, not if, somebody's living in the house, but if I see a house, I have walked onto construction sites and looked to see,
Yeah.
oh, what are they going to do here? I've done that
My
before.
girlfriend does the same thing. She's
Yeah.
into design
Yeah.
and all types of art and pieces like that.
Yeah. So I
But
think when you hear Black people in particular say that we're just tired, that I think that's a lot of the meaning behind that. Just let's just live, and
yeah, you just want to, like, life isn't hard enough.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think
Um,
we're in the middle of a revolution. I think, JT.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And let's see if there can be some positive, and let's finish it on the positive one, because one of my favorite things that you brought to my life recently was ACP. And I tuned into your Instagram live a few days ago, no, Monday, and um, I had a really rough weekend because of all of this, and
Mhm.
I don't know why. I mean, part of it's like guilt that I don't have to worry about some of these things.
Mhm.
It's feeling frustrated in that I feel like a powerful person with a lot of resources and all these things, and I felt like I couldn't do something. I didn't know what to do. So then
Mhm.
I was, feeling some of that anxiety. So this isn't about me and my problems. I've had every opportunity in the world to get where I'm at. My frustration then led to something that just wasn't positive. It was just me
Yeah.
being frustrated. And I think when you're frustrated without like looking forward, there's no solutions there, or it's not solution oriented of
Yeah.
what you can do and what you're going to do. Of Instagram, social media friend, I wouldn't even call her a friend. We've only met once, but she checked me on it on social, and she's like, "Well, what are you going to do though? Like what?
Yeah.
Great, yeah. Like, there's some words, and I'm like, you're right. What am I going to do? And I don't think I have an answer yet, but I love conversations like this, and I love
Absolutely.
thinking about it. And you're ACP, so can you tell everyone what ACP is and where that even came from? Because I think it's super
Yeah.
powerful and really necessary now, and something that could be great for everyone who's like feeling a little anxiety and
Yeah.
frustration.
So thank you. ACP stands for Active, Connected, and Positive, and it really just started literally like that first week when things started shutting down, everything's getting canceled. And again, I knew I had to communicate with my audience because we had a race scheduled for the last weekend in March, and we knew we were going to have to quickly, communicate, hey, this is not happening as scheduled. But I wanted people to immediately start to figure out ways to stay active, stay connected, and stay positive, because all you're hearing is canceled, canceled, canceled. That's all you're hearing. So that evolved into just a series of every Monday. Well, it started off Thursdays. Every Thursday, I would send an email with just a message, and it was me talking to my audience, the audience. So I would always, like, my friend, she always proofread. She was like, "Why are you saying I?" And this, I was like, "Because it's me talking to people.
It
It's not
is. It's
like it's
authentic.
not run social." So the first section of the email is my message to the community, and then I switched it to Mondays because we announced the Run Social Distancing Monday Nighter, which is our
Yeah.
virtual pivot. So we started doing the Monday active, connected, and positive email, and then we've got Mondays is our Monday Run Social
Cool.
Atlanta IG Live. So I've been doing that for like 8 weeks now, and I joke and call it a show. It's my show.
I think it's a show. I tuned in.
We've got a show. You can tune in to all the episodes on our IG Live at Run Social Atlanta.
I love
So, but yeah, so it just became just active, connected, and positive. And then, as any brilliant idea, you end up with an acronym. So ACP.
it. You got it. That's right.
And the thing that was cool about it, JT, is, you know, in the beginning, I told you this earlier. I was like, man, am I sending too many emails? Do people even care? And I got so many people either writing me back, or when they would see me in person, or, you know, I haven't seen very many people in person. It must have been on a Zoom call or something. People would say, hey, Tess, by the way, I really loved your message in the email today. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. And
I think it was personal.
Yeah.
It was from the heart. It was just like you talking to them, as opposed to like that corporate speak that we get into. We hope that all of you are staying safe out there. And they're like, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to skip this sentence and this one.
Yeah.
It just feels like the Gap is sending me a discount for jeans or something like during COVID. But when we open ourselves up and tell people how we feel, and it's not a perfect message, they feel like, oh, they're actually talking to me and they're thinking about this, which I think is cool. But I think even now, like ACP dovetailing into this week, even more powerful.
Absolutely.
For people to keep running, like keep moving, staying connected and staying positive. And I just want to thank you for giving me ACP this week.
Yes. Well, and I want to thank you for challenging me to think about too, how can we use our passion for running to express how we are feeling about the current state of the world. I mean, you asked me that this morning, did I know of anything? And I still don't know of any events, but I challenge all of us runners to use tomorrow, of course, is Global Running Day.
Yeah, we gotta go there.
So Global Running Day, let's use that day to run for a purpose, and that purpose can be whatever you want it to be, but we're running for ourselves now. I mean, there's no big group party. I mean, we do it up big for Global Running Day in Atlanta normally.
Right.
There's
yeah,
usually,
we do it too.
it's like a party night, you know. So
That's cool.
we're not going to have any of those big parties. So run for a purpose, your purpose, and be public about it. Speak up about it. Don't do a solo run and keep it to yourself. Tell the world that, hey, I went out and ran such and such miles, or walked such and such miles in a certain place for a certain reason, and feel good about the fact that you're blessed to be able to do it, first of all, and that you're, you know, wear a shirt that says something that means something to you.
I like that.
Run like, so I think we can use our ability and our passion for running to make positive change. So
I like it.
What are you gonna do tomorrow for Global Running Day?
What am I gonna do for Global Running Day? Because I hurt my calf today. Probably not.
You're gonna ice your calf for an hour now.
I'm gonna hike, or no, you know what? I probably will. I know it's weird, but you said a few days ago you were challenging people a few different ways to do Global Run Day. One of them was like, you know, go to a new place. I think that was the one you were gonna do. Go to a new route and do something that you don't normally do. The one I really liked that you said was get out of your comfort zone a little bit and do something a little bit further, right? And my girlfriend Robin, she gets a lot of shout outs today. She might as well be out on this.
Robin.
She said she really loved that one because, especially during this time of when people are looking for something to do around Black Lives Matter or around things like that, like to get out of your comfort zone, to ask questions and do those things. And she thought it was a really good symbol for running a little bit further too. Like, get out there and make it count. Like, I went a little further so that I could get out of my comfort zone, not only as a runner, but I'm going to start looking for ways that I can start doing things. So I thought that was really insightful. So I'm going to go get out of my comfort zone a little bit tomorrow in celebration of Global Running Day.
I love it.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. I think that's a great way to end it. Tomorrow is Global Running Day. I think you guys will probably be celebrating it on Run Social Atlanta, at least socially on the social media.
Well, I put it out there, the challenges that I talked about on Monday. Threw that out there on our socials as well. And you know, we've got a great community here in Atlanta. Remember, we are running City USA. Don't forget.
That's right.
So
I can't claim that.
So, you know, shout out to Atlanta Track Club for taking the lead on on the creativity of the challenges. And like I said, we
That's
got
cool.
you just get out and enjoy your ability to breathe.
Yeah, and be, oh, wow.
Yeah,
Just did
I mean,
that.
that's simple. It's that
Yeah.
simple.
I can breathe tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
celebrate that. Okay, I like it. I'm smiling. I feel better than I did before it. I feel like we're bringing some positivity, some ACP. For Global Run Day for Run Local, we've got my friend JT Chestnut. There's another JT. He lives in LA. Tomorrow he will be celebrating Global Run Day by taking over our Instagram. He is a beautiful Black man who's celebrating Pride tomorrow as well, in North Hollywood at the same time. So we're celebrating Global Run Day. We're celebrating Pride tomorrow. We're celebrating the fact that we can breathe, that we can get out, be active, and he'll be taking over the Instagram. So I'm really excited for that. And our team is going to work late tonight to wrap this up and post it tomorrow too,
All right.
to make sure that we can have it. So we'll send you the link that you can share it out, maybe in a few snippets that you can share of the video.
Absolutely.
And yeah, thank you so much, Tess.
Thanks
I
for
know it's
having me,
late for you
man.
out
And
there.
shout
I'll let
out
you
to
go.
everybody in the Bay Area. And shout out to all of our Atlanta runners. So I feel like we're creating like a little cousinship here. It's going to be great.
Yeah, we got a sister city running relationship here. I like it.
I love it.
Cool. ACP, everybody stay positive, stay active. All right, love you. Thanks, Tess.
Thanks, JT. Bye, guys.